All right, so are you ready to dive deep into egregores?
Always ready.
You ever get that feeling that like some ideas or companies just
Yeah.
take on a life of their own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of that world of egregores.
Yeah.
We're going to explore today.
It's fascinating, isn't it? The concept itself isn't new. I
Right.
mean, think of it like a thought form.
Okay.
A living, breathing cloud powered by shared beliefs and emotions.
Okay,
The
so
more people feed into it, the stronger it becomes.
so it's like a group think tank with superpowers.
Exactly. And it doesn't even have to be based on facts.
Oh, wow.
Take Santa Claus, for example. He's a classic egregore.
Yeah.
Millions, especially kids, believe in him,
Right.
giving the idea power despite him not actually existing.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. But how does this play out in the business world? That's what our listener wants to know.
That's where things get really interesting. Imagine a company's name, logo, and reputation becoming so powerful, so ingrained in our minds, that they function almost like a business Santa Claus.
Hold on, are we saying companies can become egregores themselves?
Think about it. A company's brand can evoke certain emotions and associations, shaping how we perceive them.
Okay.
It's almost like their reputation precedes them, even if they don't have the experience to back it up.
So like a company known for, say, making awesome headphones suddenly decides to launch a line of, I don't know, gourmet coffee.
Yeah.
And people just assume it's going to be amazing coffee because, hey, they make great headphones.
Precisely. Our source used the example of a company known for printers and computers moving into managed print services.
Okay.
They might not have a ton of experience in that specific area, but their established reputation, their egregore,
Right.
might make people believe they're the experts even over smaller companies who've been in that field for years.
Wait a minute, is this all a bit too out there? Can a big name and a fancy logo really outweigh actual expertise?
Hmm.
What do you think? I mean, haven't most successful businesses earned their stripes over time?
It's a valid question. It challenges us to consider whether expertise is always earned through hard work and experience, or if a powerful brand image, that egregore effect, can shortcut that process.
That's a big claim. It makes me wonder about the role of marketing in all of this. Is marketing basically just egregore engineering?
It's not a far-fetched idea.
Hmm.
Think about how marketing shapes our perceptions.
Right.
Companies use storytelling, celebrity endorsements, even carefully designed logos and colors, all to create specific emotions and associations around their brand.
Hmm.
They're essentially feeding their egregore, building that cloud of belief.
So a company with a global presence and a slick marketing campaign might not actually be the expert they're presenting themselves to be.
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but it's a reminder that we shouldn't be swayed by surface appearances.
Right.
A big name doesn't automatically equal expertise. We need to look beyond the hype, the marketing, the egregore, and ask ourselves, what's the substance behind the brand?
Okay, so how do we as consumers avoid falling for this egregore effect? How do we cut through the noise and make informed decisions?
That's where critical thinking comes in. Next time a salesperson walks in claiming their company is the best, don't just take their word for it. Ask yourself, how long have they really been in the game? Does their track record support their claims?
So it's about looking beyond the surface, the flashy marketing, the egregore-fueled hype, and doing our own digging.
Exactly. Don't let the egregore do your thinking for you. Challenge assumptions, look for evidence, and trust your gut.
Wow, this egregore concept is making me rethink everything I thought I knew about business. It's like there's this invisible hand guiding our perceptions.
And it's not just limited to business. We see egregores at play in all sorts of areas.
Full of that thought. We're going to pick this back up in just a minute.
Yeah, it's almost like we're talking about a company's brand becoming so powerful that it takes on a life of its own.
Right, like it's no longer just a logo and a name, but this entity that influences how people think and make decisions.
Mm.
You mentioned this isn't just about business, though. Where else do we see these egregores?
Think about political movements. They thrive on shared beliefs and collective energy. The stronger the belief in a particular ideology, the more powerful its egregore becomes, drawing in more supporters and influencing the political landscape.
That's a really interesting point. It's like those massive rallies you see where everyone's chanting and waving flags.
Yeah.
You can almost feel the energy of the egregore in the air.
Exactly. And it's not just about politics. Social trends are driven by egregores too. Fashion, music, even the way we communicate online. These are all influenced by collective beliefs and behaviors. Think about how quickly trends can go viral, capturing the attention of millions and shaping our cultural landscape.
So you're saying those viral TikTok dances aren't just random fun. There's an egregore behind them pushing them into the mainstream.
It's not that there's some mastermind controlling these trends. It's more about the collective energy, the shared excitement and participation that fuels their spread. The egregore grows stronger with each share and repost.
This is making me look at my social media feed in a whole new light. What about online communities? They seem like prime breeding grounds for egregores, right?
Absolutely. Think about online forums, fan groups, even those niche subreddits dedicated to specific interests. These communities are built on shared passions, values, and beliefs. The more people who participate and contribute, the stronger the egregore becomes, shaping the community's culture and influencing its members.
So in a way, we're all contributing to the creation and maintenance of these egregores, even if we're not aware of it.
We're constantly feeding egregores with our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every time we buy a product, vote for a candidate, or share a viral post, we're contributing to the energy of an egregore. It's like we're all interconnected in this invisible web of shared beliefs and influences.
Okay, that's starting to feel a little overwhelming. If we're surrounded by these egregores shaping our perceptions and influencing our choices, how do we stay grounded? How do we make sure we're not just blindly following the crowd?
It comes back to awareness and critical thinking. We need to be mindful of the egregores that are operating around us and ask ourselves if their values align with our own. We need to develop the ability to step back and question those beliefs, to examine the evidence, and to make decisions based on our own judgment.
So how do we even begin to identify these egregores in our daily lives? Are there any telltale signs we should be looking out for?
One way is to pay attention to your emotional reactions. When you encounter a brand, a movement, or an idea, notice how it makes you feel. Do you feel excited, drawn in, like you want to be a part of it? Or do you feel uneasy, skeptical, like something doesn't quite sit right?
It's almost like doing a gut check, right? Tuning into those instinctive feelings.
Exactly. Those gut feelings can be valuable clues. Ask yourself, where are these feelings coming from? Are they based on my own personal experiences and values, or am I being swept up by the energy of the egregore?
So if we do identify an egregore that we don't want to be a part of, how do we resist its pull? Is it even possible to break free from these invisible forces?
It's not about breaking free as much as it's about conscious choice. We have the power to decide which egregores we want to align with and which ones we want to distance ourselves from. It's about becoming aware of the influences around us and making deliberate choices about where we direct our energy and attention.
So it's about recognizing that we have agency, that we're not just passive recipients of these influences.
Exactly. We can choose to feed the egregores that resonate with our values, the ones that are promoting positive change and growth. Or we can choose to withdraw our support from the ones that we find harmful or misleading. It's about making conscious choices that align with our own personal beliefs and goals.
That's really empowering. It's like taking back control of our own narrative, choosing which stories we want to be a part of.
It's about becoming the authors of our own life rather than simply being characters in someone else's story.
This is blowing my mind wide open. We're starting to see how these egregores are woven into the fabric of our lives, from our everyday choices to the larger systems and structures that shape our world.
And this understanding is crucial because it allows us to navigate these influences with more awareness and intention. It's about recognizing the power of collective belief and harnessing it for good.
Wow, this is a lot to unpack. Our listeners sent in some great material for this deep dive, but I'm ready to hear some real-world examples.
Let's shift gears and look at some specific examples of egregores in action.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Okay, so before we went away there, we were talking about how to make conscious choices about these egregores.
Right.
So I'm really ready to hear how this plays out in the real world.
Absolutely. Let's start with the tech industry.
Okay.
Think about a company like Apple.
Yeah.
They've cultivated an egregore that goes beyond just their products.
Right.
It's about design innovation, even a certain lifestyle. People wait in line for hours to get the latest iPhone, not just because of the technology, but because of what owning an Apple product says about them.
Yeah, it's like they've tapped into something deeper, a desire to be part of something cool, exclusive, cutting edge.
Exactly. It's that feeling of belonging, of being in the know that feeds the Apple egregore. And it's incredibly powerful. Think about how Apple's design aesthetic has influenced other industries.
Oh, yeah.
From cars to furniture.
Yeah.
It's that ripple effect of a strong egregore.
It's like their egregore has become a cultural force. What about an example outside of the tech world?
Let's look at the fitness industry.
Okay.
Think about those intense workout programs that have huge followings.
Right.
It's not just about the exercises, it's about the community, the shared challenge, the transformation stories. People are drawn to the egregore of achievement, of pushing their limits and becoming their best selves.
You see that a lot with marathon runners, too.
Yeah.
It's like this collective energy that pushes them to train harder and achieve goals they never thought possible.
And those shared experiences, those stories of triumph, feed back into the egregore,
Yeah.
making it even stronger.
Yeah.
It becomes a self-perpetuating cycle of belief and achievement.
This is making me realize how much our decisions, even seemingly personal ones, are influenced by these invisible forces.
It's not about being paranoid or rejecting everything that's popular. It's about cultivating awareness, questioning our assumptions, and making conscious choices that align with our own values.
So how do we become more discerning? What are some practical steps we can take to navigate this world of egregores?
Start by paying attention to the information you consume.
Okay.
Who's creating it? What are their motivations? Are they trying to sell you something or genuinely inform you?
That's good advice for anything we read or watch, especially online.
Right. And don't be afraid to question the narrative. Look for different perspectives. Consider alternative explanations. Just because something is popular or widely believed doesn't make it true.
It's about cultivating that healthy skepticism, right? Not being a cynic, but thinking critically about the information we're taking in.
Exactly. And remember, you have the power to choose. You can choose which egregores you want to support with your time, energy, and money. You can choose to align with the ones that are creating positive change in the world.
This has been a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for shedding some light on this hidden world of egregores.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all you deep divers out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those egregore detectors on high alert. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic.